Tonight, former Governor Roy Cooper's last act is still making waves. Now, multiple district attorneys say they're upset with his decision to commute 15 death row sentences. WCNC Charlotte's Julie Kay spoke with these officials about the impacts on victims' families and what it means legally.
15 death row sentences, now life in prison without parole. Now, this has been praised by many civil rights groups, but the district attorneys I spoke with say the announcement came without enough warning. Nothing surprises Sarah Kirkman about Statesville. Born and raised, she's now the district attorney for Iredell and Alexander counties. But at the end of last year, a surprise in her inbox.
To find out New Year's Eve that this is what happened, it was kind of hard news to take.
An email that Governor Cooper commuted Rayford Burke's sentence. Burke, a man initially acquitted of a Statesville murder in 1991, later sentenced to death for killing Timothy Morrison, a man who testified against him in the first trial.
People in this office had had a lot of contact with that victim, and he had even reached out to them and said he was afraid of Rayford Burke.
Kirkman joining a slew of district attorneys sharing concerns, including Randolph County DA Andy Gregson.
This is the first time that I can recall something on this scale.
His district didn't have any commuted cases, but he says other DAs requested the petitions for clemency and didn't get them.
If it was a fair process, considering everything, all of this would have been shared with the prosecutors.
Another surprise, a law that could allow for some older cases to argue the defendants should be eligible for parole. It's called ex post facto and means the state cannot impose a sentence that didn't exist when the crime was committed. Prior to 1994, there were no sentences that didn't allow parole.
Can the governor, in other words, impose a sentence that was not in effect under the law at the time of that murder?
Rayford Burke's sentence is old enough to fall under this. Kirkman doesn't expect it to happen, but that doesn't mean the city doesn't feel it.
It goes to the very heart of our justice system, I would say, that somebody needs to testify and do the right thing, and then the defendant goes back and murders him.
Gregson pointing to the legislature to make a change.
So that victims have a guaranteed say, so that prosecutors can see the petition.
But for now, both agree. This reopens wounds for the community and leaves questions for the legal system. And as I mentioned, Cooper's decision did get support from many organizations like the ACLU, which said, "We have long known that the death penalty in North Carolina is racially biased, unjust, and immoral." Now, we did, of course, reach out to the governor's office for comment on the DA's concerns, but did not hear back. In Statesville, Julie Kay, WCNC Charlotte.